Because my question is like, what is the abusive situation? And I need specifics. And like the reason I need specifics is women cry abuse for everything, and we've actually lost the meaning of abuse. Like if you go to, and I know this because I'm doing a divorce documentary. And so I'm actually interviewing men that are in the process of getting like absolutely wrecked by divorce. And a lot of them have had false allegations put out against them. And a lot of those, basically what the feminists do is they expand the definition of abuse to include things like coercive control, financial abuse, and even physical abuse. A lot of times, like girls don't talk about how they hit first. And most abusive situations are mutually abusive, meaning they're both hitting each other. And so a lot of times what girls will do is they'll say, oh, I'm being abused, but they don't talk about how she hit him first. Like I had a girl on the show say I was physically abused. And I used to just believe women. Like I would always just be like, oh, I'm so sorry. But then you start asking questions. And it baffles me how women like turn the situation of them like being abused when they aren't. Like this one girl, she came on my show, she said, I was physically abused. I said, okay, tell me the situation. What exactly happened? She refused to leave his house. She refused. So she's trespassing on his property, saying, I'm not gonna leave. And he pushes her out of the house. Is that abuse?
No.
Or another thing that girls do is they'll edge a guy on. Like I saw a clip of a girl, basically making fun of a guy for having a dead son. And he hit her. Who abused who? And that's like the other side of this that we don't talk about is that a lot of times like the feminists or whatever will try to get a gotcha question because they'll say, oh, if you're in an abusive marriage. But like I know the ins and outs of this because I interview the men that are falsely accused, and this is so common. And it's so common. So, and the one thing that guys should know is if a girl says she was abused and she didn't file a police report, because in family court, you don't need evidence to accuse someone of abuse. You need no evidence. And in criminal court, you do. So it's more it's more likely true if it's in criminal court. If it's real abuse, yeah, I mean, you should leave. But my issue is like, a lot of times it's not actually real abuse what they're talking about, and they don't talk about the other side where a lot of times the girls start it. Thank you.
I don't know about that example of somebody saying, of the woman saying that, telling the husband that he had a dead son, and then she hits him.
No, I said he hit her.
Oh, he hit her.
Like, because she was
That's
like taunting.
though.
She was taunting him
If
about
someone
his...
taunts you, or if you taunt someone and they hit you, is that acceptable? Legally,
I didn't
say
that it's acceptable, but it's not like
We're
they're
talking
paying
about someone's dead child.
Like,
I don't think you know
like,
until
you
that
can
happens
walk
to you, your
away from it.
reaction
I
would be.
understand. You can walk
that,
away
but you
from a
can't-
situation.
You can't punch someone because they say something that hurts your feelings. You
Yeah,
cannot
violence
do that.
is not okay,
Yeah.
but
That is
that's
not
not make it
acceptable.
okay.
Right.
Wait,
But,
tilt
yeah.
your microphone so it's facing straight.
I'm not saying it's okay, but we don't talk about the other side where a lot of times girls will provoke it.
I agree with
So
you.
it's not like
Yeah.
he's
The
this horrible.
explanation
Like,
isn't
is that
justified.
in that
It's-
situation? Is that something that could be worked out? I mean, like obviously that's a crazy toxic relationship, but they'll act like, oh, the guy isn't the horrible person, he's in the wrong, he hit her, but it's like you were taunting him. And also, like a lot of times, you know what girls do? And I've read these text messages. Like I have literally like gone through these like subpoena or whatever it is when they have to get the stuff from the women. Women know that they get perks from the government if they accuse a guy of abuse.
I have a very close friend
There
who
was
has been falsely
there was a girl that had in text messages, I wish he would just hit me, because if he hit her, she gets a free lawyer from the government. And so these are the situations that like the left doesn't talk about, where men are falsely accused all the time. And and it's so sad because women that are actually abused are the ones that suffer for it, because women are going around calling everything abuse, everything rape. Like
And most of the women who suffer from abuse actually suffer in silence and don't
say
speak
anything.
on it
scared to
ever,
come forward.
and are terrified, and even and it makes it difficult too. But obviously to prove in court. But a lot of women also don't call the cops.
Yeah,
I mean, a
that's
lot of
like
people
when you
suffer
said that.
in silence.
Yeah, the people who
So
need
I'm
it the
just-
most, they don't say anything.
I mean, and in my opinion, like I really think we need to go off of evidence. Like I just think that false accusations and abuse is so rampant that we have to go off of evidence, and we should encourage women that are actually abused to go to the police.
Sure.
Because now we're in a situation where if you don't go to the police, how can I just believe you when women go around falsely accusing men all the time?
I mean,
I
also,
don't think
I think there's certain situations where you don't have evidence.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if I get hit, but it's not leaving a bruise, how are you supposed to show the evidence of that?
And I think you
if
also
I
need
go to
to
the police.
go to police officers and
how
tell
would
them
it
to
not-
take it
how
more
would you not-
seriously, because
'cause I'm
I can't
thinking
tell
if an
you how many
average guy-
times
if
that
Brian-
I have had
if-
friends had something happen and they've gone to the police and the police do absolutely nothing.
Well, is
Yeah.
it possible that maybe it didn't happen?
no,
like that's the
because
thing. That's
we're
the
not
thing.
really going to get into it, but I was there, so I know.
Okay,
For a
okay.
fact.
If you
Michaela,
saw,
can you
but,
pull
like
it-
my whole point isn't
your
about.
mic
My
closer
whole
to
point is we need to go off of evidence. Like in society, we cannot just openly believe women because they say something. It is not
But
fair
what was
to
I
men.
supposed to do?
I'm not
Get
talking
my
about.
camera
Look,
out?
I'm not
But this is
talking
what
about
I'm
your.
asking you is
but-
what do you mean by evidence? You know, was I supposed to sit
so
there
if you
and get
if
my
you
camera
saw
out?
if you saw it,
It was my witness testimony enough?
what do you mean? Go ahead.
Was me witnessing it in considered evidence?
I would think so.
You would think so,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, I don't know the ins and outs of every situation, so I don't really want to go into your personal
Yeah,
one.
no,
But
I'm just
what
saying that when
is
you
in-
say like if a girl hasn't taken it to the cops, then she's lying. That's not
well,
a
your
blanket
friend
statement.
did. Your friend did take it to the cops.
Yeah, but I'm
right?
telling you.
And I'm saying
no,
women
because
should go to the
I'm
police.
not finished.
But why if they don't do anything?
All right, let's
I have
move on. We're not going to talk about this. Thank you for the super chat.